Hi, and welcome to Chillin' with Cheeseweasel. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of a small town I put together with the help of several others. We'll tour the town and meet the residents who are in the town when the game begins. I've been playing this town for a couple seasons and we'll start season 4 soon. But this is a view of the file that you would get if you decided you wanted to play in my save file. This would be like at the very beginning of my series. I discovered this map through CJ Play's World Overview of the original, and it looked like the creator, Visty6, had started it, then gave up and moved on to other projects. It had one large house that looked like it was finished except for a few rooms that needed to be furnished, and one house that was a shell with no floor plan in it or anything inside. Other than that, it had a bunch of EA rabbit hole buildings, and that was about it. I loved the map and decided to renovate the town using my own builds and those of others. I have 7 households, several empty houses for future residents, and I converted the rabbit hole buildings with the exception of the school, and I added a rabbit hole for the criminal career. But all the others are converted into walk-in buildings with rabbit hole rugs so that they're more interactable. So let's start with the residents and the homes that they live in. First of all, we're going to go visit the old timers, the Culpepper house. And this has some names that I have changed. Elmer is actually now Chuck, because when I went to name everybody, I guess I was on an E fixation because we had Elmer and Eleanor and Emily and Emery, and the names were way too similar for people to keep straight. So I went back and I renamed them. So if I interchange some names, that's why. But so for this family, it says, after the passing of their wives, Chuck and his brother Ben decided to live together in their childhood home. They don't agree on much. It's a wonder they can live under the same roof. This town was a much nicer place before the criminal element moved in and invaded their favorite fishing hole. So these are 2 old brothers who are living here together. Their deceased wives can be found in their backpacks. You can decide if you want the women on the lot or in the cemetery. But when I play it, they're not much of the story. I put them in the cemetery and they can go visit the graves and stuff, but that's about it. Okay, so let's go ahead and move in here and take a quick look at their house. Okay, so here they are. Okay, so we have Elmer. I'm going to change his name real quick. I'm going to pause this while I do that. Okay, I'm back. So we have Chuck Culpepper, Chuck Elmer. He's shy, neat, artistic, proper, and an angler. And then we have Ben over here. And Ben is a slob, inappropriate, a party animal, athletic, and an angler. So the only thing they really have in common with each other is they both like to fish. And then they have their little dog over here, Wally, who's aggressive, destructive, and a hunter. And they live in this house. That's their family house. Let me pop it up here so you can see it better. Okay, so this is a Banyan Retreat. It's not built by me. This one was created by Sandra L. and it was made for Bayou Bijou. However, I removed the trees that were the banyan trees and made it so it's a little bit better with this particular world. But anyway, this is their ancestral home. This is the house they grew up in. So let's take a little closer look in the house. Just give you a quick overview. Starting with the main floor, you come up on the porch. You got this living area here, kind of an open living space. You've got old TV, you got a little stereo, fireplace over here. There's their kitchen and their doggy stuff. There's a little office back here and a little laundry room. If you go down to the basement, there's some exercise equipment for Ben, and there's also a sculpting station here for Chuck. And then if you go upstairs, we've got one bedroom for one of them over here and the other bedroom over here for the other one. And then they have a common bathroom that they share. So anyway, that's what's going on with this family. Okay, let's go take a look at the next one. Okay, so if we move up the road here. Oh, I was going to show you over here real quick too. This is their fishing hole over here. They got their little chairs out. There's a little fire pit over here. This is the criminal hideout. And they're not real happy about them moving in here recently. Okay, so you take this road and you go up here and you come to the farmland. So you kind of zigzag your way out here. Okay, I built this one, this little farm. This is the Rollins farm, and here they all are. And there's a little greenhouse, a barn, and a little farmhouse. It's a family of 4 plus animals. So we have Reuben here. I'm going to switch to this family real quick so we can see what's going on here. Okay, so here's Reuben. He's the head of the family, the father. He is an equestrian, family-oriented, a loser, unlucky, and has a good sense of humor. And so he has a horse. This is Sunny. Sunny was an adopted horse. He was a rescue horse. And Reuben is trying to train him up for the equestrian competitions. And here's his wife, Hillary. Hillary's the gardener. She likes to garden, so she's got this nice little greenhouse over here, and then back in here she has a little orchard back on the other side of the corrals. And then we have Jolene. Where's Jolene? She's standing inside the horse, I think. Let's try to... Jolene, come out. Okay. Now, Jolene is a teenager. She is a little bit rebellious, doesn't really think it's cool to live on a farm, has bigger dreams. In my playthrough, story progression made her a teen sleuth, which made things a lot of fun because she was going all over town looking, spying on people and digging through their trash and having stakeouts and digging up the dirt of the town, basically. And then her little sister here, Kathy. Kathy is the dog person, and she likes being on the farm. She's got her little playground over here. She's got her little dog Chico, and she is hydrophobic, a dog person, and lucky. Jolene, like I said, she's brave, dramatic, a genius, and a hopeless romantic. And then Hillary is a loser, just like her husband. She's eco-friendly, a light sleeper, frugal, and has a green thumb. Okay, so there is a rivalry going on here in my head. This guy here, Reuben, and this family over here, Augustine, the head of this family, are both equestrians and they're rivals. So let's go take a look at, let's look at this house real quick. Just a quick overview. So here we go. Okay, so it's pretty small. They've got a little entertainment center here, and a bookshelf, stereo, and then they have a little kitchen back here and a little dining area. And then upstairs, the girls share a room, and here's the master suite, and then there's a common bathroom, and that's basically all they've got. It's a simple house. They've got the barn over here. It's got room for Sunny and just some general shop stuff and a haystack. We've got this so that Sunny can be trained. But that's basically their setup. And there is a little haystack for woohooing up here if need be. Okay, let's move on. We're going to go over here to the Lopez's, and we're going to take a look at them. Okay, now this was a shell, this house right here. It was a shell that was created by Visti 6 for this world. The barn wasn't here. I put that in, and I did the inside of the house, and I gave Maria a little herb garden. She's got a little herb garden over here and a few trees, apple trees and stuff. But yeah, she's got some grapes too, I guess. But mostly herbs. Got some wonder petal. She's got green leaf and midnight bean and chamomile. And she's got chickens. I gave her a little chicken house over here too. So their barn has room for Soldier. Now, Soldier is not a rescue horse. Soldier is one that Augustine bought. Um, it's thoroughbred, that kind of thing. And he's trying to train Soldier up to be a good equestrian horse. So he kind of thinks he's got a one up on unlucky Reuben. And Maria and Hillary think the whole rivalry thing's silly. They just like to hang out and share gardening tips and, just think that their men are a little bit strange for being so obsessed with trying to one up each other. And there is a son here, Hector. So let's take a look at Augustine first. He's charismatic, frugal, equestrian, and a born salesman. You should have one more, I think. Maria loves to swim, genius, animal lover, green thumb, and nurturing. And Hector is flirty, a daredevil, equestrian, and an angler. Hector wants to be a little bit different from his dad. He's interested in horses and all that, but he's more interested in like rodeo cowboy type stuff rather than the racing and the jumping and that kind of thing with the horses. So in my head canon, this is not how my game went, but in my head canon, Hector and uh, Jolene have kind of a romance going while their dads are rivals. Okay, so let's go over here next. This is a little old lady who lives kind of in between these two guys. And this is Widow Williams. And this is the one that the Culpepper brothers are interested in. In retrospect, I would have made her a little different with her personality. I made her irresistible because I was thinking that, that would be kind of make her attractive to the others. What I didn't realize is that she became an uncontrollable flirt. Every man in town, it seemed like I always found her off in somebody else's arms and stuff, and it was driving me nuts because in my head, I was thinking she was, this nice little church lady. She helps run the local church because they don't have a pastor. She's kind of the lay pastor and all of that. But she has this side of her that's a little wild, a little weak, and she's got a weakness for the men. So anyway, as she got older and the men died off in my game, I changed her irresistible trait to cat lover because she had a cat, and that made her seem a lot more like what I pictured her to be like. But anyway, her story is that her husband Joe, and Joe I believe is in her, yeah, he's right here. He's in her inventory, just like the Culpepper's wives are in their inventories. So he could be placed here on the lot, or he could be placed in the cemetery. But anyway, he was a car enthusiast, therefore we have a car out here. And he used to work at this place called the Pit Stop, which was a garage and gas station type of place when he was alive and many years ago. He died of natural causes. But anyway, she is a green thumb, I believe. Didn't I have her as a green thumb? Eco-friendly and a green thumb. Yeah, she's known for her gardens here. And they've kind of fallen apart a little bit. They're not as tidy and everything as they used to be because she's just getting older and it's harder and harder for her to take care of everything. So her granddaughter, we call her Emily here. I'm going to change her name to Hannah. Hold on. Okay, I changed her name to Hannah because, like I said, I had way too many E's and it was getting confusing. Anyway, Emily's just graduated from college. She's got a teaching degree, and she took a job teaching in the local school and moved back to town. And she offered to move in with her grandmother and help her grandmother around the house, keep up with the chores, maybe get the gardens back in shape and that sort of thing. Because Josie, well, she's not, you know, phoebing out or anything, but it's getting more and more difficult because of her age to keep up on all the housework. We do have a little dog house and stuff over here. We'll just assume the dog has been gone for a while. Now, this house is not my creation here. This house was created by Davis SM, and it was made for Bayou Bijou as well. Let's take a quick look at the cabin. I changed it just a little bit because they had a music room in here. They didn't have a bathroom, an indoor bathroom. They just had the outhouse out here. So I changed their little music room into a bathroom, indoor plumbing and all of that. And I believe I changed, no, I didn't. Eventually I remodeled this a little bit and put some different wallpaper on the inside here. But for the most part, it's basically the way it was originally for them. And then in the back, you can see we've got some kind of area here where we can put a garden, and I put in a better garden eventually back there. Hannah is also a vehicle enthusiast, just like her grandfather was, and in my story she does fix up this car, and then Josie drives it around quite a bit. But anyway, not a whole lot to say about Hannah. She loves to swim. She's a vehicle enthusiast, nurturing, a coward, and friendly. Let's move on. Before we go, there's Hannah's parents in here, and Josie's daughter and son-in-law. We'll go look at them in a minute, but I mentioned the pit stop, so we can go down and take a quick look at the pit stop before we get there and go see her family. But the pit stop is right here. Okay, it used to be a garage, you can see. However, it's been bought, and now it's a bar. Let's see if I can get in there. This is where everyone goes to blow off steam. You can usually hear Western music blaring out of the speakers. And they got a nub game, and there's a keg and a place to sit around a fire out here. Inside, we've got a bar. We've got a little stage here if somebody wants to come and play the guitar, entertain. We've got a little game room over here. We've got a couple pool tables and some pinball machines and the bathrooms. But anyway, that's kind of the hot spot of the town. If anyone wants to go hang out and socialize, it usually ends up being here. Let's go look at Fancy Pants Estate. That is what Josie calls this place. This is her daughter's house. So it is down this way. Okay. So Fancy Pants Estate is way over here. And this is the house that the creator Visty 6 built and furnished and everything. All of this stuff was here. The hot tub, the little bike shelter. This is Emery. His name is really Winston. So I'm going to go change their names real quick. Hold on. Okay, this here is Josie's daughter, Lucille. Apparently, it looks like she has suddenly decided she wants to volunteer down at the concession stand at the rodeo grounds. So we won't be seeing her for very long here. She is dramatic, a genius, good, hot-headed, and an equestrian. And her husband, Winston, unflirty, workaholic, night owl, genius, and ambitious. Now, he is a doctor. He's the local doctor. And so she doesn't have to work, so I'm assuming she's going to volunteer right now. But let's take a quick look at their house, and then we'll move on to the next family. But you can see the top of it hasn't been done yet, but the second floor here has. This is where their kitchen and their living space is. There's a nice bedroom here. Here's another empty room. And then if you go down below, there's another nice sitting area here. And then they have pretty much a party room over here. They've got a huge big screen TV. They got pool table. They've got a professional bar, a dance floor. So, I mean, if she decides to host some big parties or something, this is a place you can do it pretty easily. Some fundraisers if she becomes a politician or something like that. But anyway, it's a pretty fancy house. Their story basically is he's a workaholic doctor. He doesn't spend a whole lot of time with her. She might be getting a little lonely in my head canon, and she's trying to find things to do with herself other than just mill around this big old house. So that's where they're at. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, next on the list is Anton and Guadalupe. They live right here. You'll notice if we come down here, we've got two houses. These are built from a Sears catalog floor plan. This one is a bargain one. It's not furnished real well. It's just got the bare necessities in it, so it's more affordable. Anton and Guadalupe are living here, and they have already taken off, it looks like. Here's Anton. Anton loves the outdoors. He's neat, good, has a photographer's eye, and he's friendly. And Guadalupe, looks like she's heading off to attend a concession stand too. So I've only let this run like 11 seconds and I had story progression off and already they're doing this. All right, we can't really see what you can see what she looks like here. Um, Basically these guys were foster kids. They've aged out of the foster care system. They knew each other when they were in the foster care system, whether they were in a group home or, in a shared foster home or something like that. They got to know each other pretty well. And they went their separate ways after they aged out. Anton went to Bridgeport. He was hoping to become a famous photographer. Didn't work out real well for him. Meanwhile, Guadalupe went to this place called Toledo, and she worked at a spa for a little while part-time. She became friends with this older woman who had a nice big house and offered her a room there because her daughter had moved out and she was kind of lonely and she was a widow, and it was nice just to take care of this young lady who didn't seem to have a family or anything like that. So this made the daughter, who had moved out and never spent much time with her mother, a little upset, thinking that maybe Guadalupe'd inherit the house and stuff like that. And so she kind of nudged her way back in before the old woman passed away. But anyway, Guadalupe probably did get a little bit of money from that, and she came to Sage Hen Mesa after that. I call this Sage Hen Mesa. It's Desert Mountains, but my game, I renamed it. So if I call it Sage Hen Mesa, that's why. Anyway, so she came here. She is flirty, family-oriented, good, a kleptomaniac, and a coward. She was actually a babysitter, an NPC babysitter that I found in Toledo, that she stayed with the family even after the family got home and kept taking care of the kids. And in my mind, she really wants to have a family of her own. She was probably separated from her family. I'm thinking a refugee type situation. Got separated from her family, ended up in foster care, and she wants, basically to have her own family at some point. And let's go take a look at their house while they're running off willy-nilly. Okay, so can I turn the lights on? All right, so they have a little sunroom over here, a family room or living area with a fireplace. Have a dining area and a little kitchen. Here's a bedroom back here and a little child's room back here. Hopefully someday Guadalupe might be able to have a child here. In my mind, they're renting this place. Maybe it came furnished. I don't know. There is this little porch on the back. This is what they used to call a sleeping porch in the old days, where, if things got too hot in the summer, you could go out on the porch and open the windows and stuff and catch a breeze and be able to sleep better. And then upstairs, we do have another bedroom up here, and we also have storage, basically an attic storage area. We got a few little doodads that are interactable, but for the most part, it's just storage. And down here's the main living area. Okay, so let us go on to the next one. Okay, over here, there's a great big lot with a little farm area here. This one was built by me for Adventureland, and it was placed on a lot that was smaller than this. It was the lot that was in, if you're familiar with Sunset Valley or Adventureland, it's the place with the waterfall. Adventureland is just Sunset Valley that was unpopulated. But that lot by the waterfall, this is what I had on it for Adventureland. It was called a fisherman's cabin. Anyway, here's the family. They're an old mining family. This is Cliff Mahan, and his family has been, multi-generations have been mining this area. And he's kind of the heir apparent of the mining trade right now. And he married his girlfriend from college, Tess. She is an artistic type person. She got an art degree in college. They got married shortly out of college and moved here. They've had 2 kids since then. And they got this little dog, Missy. And Cliff, he's one of the favorite characters around here because he's so off the rails. He's over emotional, has no sense of humor. He's a dog person, ambitious and mean-spirited. And he likes to fight people. It's pretty funny. And then Tess, she hates the outdoors. She's a savvy sculptor, irresistible, neat, and a computer whiz. And then Clancy over here, the teenager, he's a sailor, shy, inappropriate, and athletic. And so he doesn't like to socialize much, and he'd rather be out on the boat. We do have a boat. And then we have Timothy here, who's a slob, loves the cold, and is mean-spirited. I'm thinking he's probably going to be the one that takes over the mining claim once Cliff retires or goes about doing something else. Over here, there's an outbuilding, and it's got the boat in it. And then over here is their house. And the boys have to share a room. It's a little run down. It's been around for a long time, a little bit dated. But yeah, the boys have their room here. Here's the master. And then we've got a little sculpting station here for Tess. And we have a bathroom. And we've got a little kitchen area over here. You can see, could use a little bit of updating. Maybe get a new fridge, that kind of thing. But we've got an old-timey TV and all that. But that's where they live. And I think that is all the family. Okay, so we've covered about the entire town, all the families, except for the redheaded lady here in this picture. This is Dr. Ellen. She's the town psychiatrist, and she lives in a house that's a combination apartment over her offices. So I'm going to go ahead and show her place when we pick up on the next video, where I'll show you all the commercial lots in the town and the empty houses. But anyway, we'll just leave you here for now, and I appreciate the time you spent with me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day.